Steve, it's just not fair. She always gets her way, all the time.
Yeah, well, he always gets the lead in the play.
You know, well, my teacher doesn't think I'm good enough. He never likes my work.
Well, I never get what I want when I pray.
You know, I don't know about you, Steve, but life just isn't fair to me. It's really, really getting me mad.
I guess a part of becoming an adult is realizing that we will not always get what we deserve. We often won't get our fair share.
I guess the problem is definitely tension that surrounds this reality, and that, you know, we always have been thought of and yet taught that life isn't fair, and that's supposed to be good enough? I don't know. Anyway, I'm Adriana.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Real Faith TV. And today's topic is what to do when life isn't fair. How are you going to cope with it?
In our Spotlight interview today, Ed will tell us what we do or what we should do, basically what he does when he doesn't feel that life treats him fairly. Our music video will be Power in Your Hand by Paige Lewis.
And also, before we talk with our studio guests, let's find out what some high school students do when they think life isn't fair.
Usually when I'm angry, I probably just scream.
I just take time, relaxing myself, you know, take time thinking about what's going on in my life and try to evaluate what's going good with my life and then just kind of shit on that, not focus on the bad.
I'll try and change it. Like, I'll be upset for a while, but I'll try and go through and make things better.
Usually cry, throw things, and then you have to get over it and just kind of deal with it.
I usually try to go like play a sport or something and just do something to take it off my mind and, you know, just think, wow, like, I mean, there's a lot worse out there.
I get upset and I think about it. I do a lot of thinking. I write sometimes. Yeah. I usually crawl up in a room and not want to deal with anything because it's easier to just put it aside and not think about it at the moment. I either cry, go to sleep, or me and my best friend, we go and we go to the grocery store, get ice cream, sit in my car in the parking lot, bring spoons, eat out of the tub of ice cream, and blast music in my car.
That's cool.
I love the ice cream
definitely
thing.
Cool. Ice
I
cream,
have to
just
try
eating.
that. Yeah.
But all right. Well, joining us today, we have Jen, Vanessa, Dan, Adrian, and Courtney.
Ooh, we have a lot of people
Yeah,
today.
look at that.
Now, have any of you guys ever had any experiences where you felt life wasn't fair? What did you guys do?
Well, I'm definitely up there with that girl that grabs her best friend and goes and eats ice cream.
Yeah.
My friends and I do that all the time because life just isn't fair.
Yeah.
Well, I think like a lot of everyday occurrences, you know, you just think that life isn't fair. And I usually just talk about it with my sisters, and we usually, again, just like rent a movie and like, or just like watch a funny TV show or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I don't let it faze me that much. I mean, I think about, you know, things that happen, but I put it in perspective. Is it really important? And just, you know, blow it by, let whatever happens happen.
Mm-hmm. I have a tendency to just sit and think about it. You know, when it isn't fair, I think, all right, why is this upsetting me? And then figure out a way to make it not upset me, to just make it better.
Like, I think like that, but there's a park near my house, and when I have the time, I'll chill out at the
Take a
park
walk,
because
yeah.
because it's nice, and it's like I'm going back to my childhood, and everything is like so carefree there with like the little kids and stuff. It's like my life could be so much worse, so should I let this bother me?
Yeah, you kind of reminisce the things. And I know writing helps me a lot too.
Yeah, writing.
Writing, that's such good therapy.
I like what you said about the park, actually, because my friend and I just did that last night. I was having a really bad week, And she came and picked me up, and we went to the park and played on the swings.
Yes,
And
she swings it. It's always a swing
and
set.
she said, Jen,
Swing
we've
sets?
got swings and ice cream. How bad can it be?
I know.
And
It's
I
like,
thought, you know,
those
she's
are like
really
the best.
great.
It's like you're 5 again. And everything's
Exactly.
great.
With no worries. Life
Exactly.
is simple. How about you, Adrian?
Well, things lately been getting like worse, but I try to equal it out with the good things. And if things get like bad, like once in a while, I just sneak out, go outside and watch the stars and just think about all the good things that happened, like all the people that care about me, just to forget about all the bad stuff.
That's good. That's good. It's always good to watch the stars.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Reminds you, you know, just how
Big the universe
big is
is.
and how small little things that upset
Right.
you are, you know, many of these teens that, you know, are thinking that life isn't fair, they're not doing well when it comes to coping with the unfairness in life.
Yeah.
Some throw things, others scream at whoever's around them, and others, they punch walls and windows
Oh
and
my
stuff.
God, my friend did that the other day. Although many teens say that they're going to cope well and that they actually do, they say that they forget about it, and some actually put their pain to the side. You know, this isn't coping. At least I don't think it is. I think talking about it, and what Courtney was saying before, therapy, taking a walk in the park, something like that, that's coping with it. To actually be with yourself and be at ease like that.
Right, and it's important that we really take the time to acknowledge that we are hurting, and then, you know,
For that emotion to come out.
Right, take care of that emotion. You know, we have to let that out. Otherwise, it's going to get repressed, and it's just one day it's going to explode, and
Keeping it inside.
it's going to
not
hurt
good.
someone else, and you know,
No.
it's not good.
Not at all. Next on our Spotlight interview, Ed tells us about a couple of his own experiences when he felt that life just wasn't fair.
Well, one time I felt life wasn't fair was actually the past 8th grade year. My English teacher, me and my friend, he started grading our papers a lot more harder than he was grading the rest of the class, because we felt that he wasn't being the best teacher he could be. So we went to the head of the school and talked about it, and the principal told us that he wouldn't tell our names to the teacher, but just inquire about it. And somehow the teacher found out about it, I guess. So for like the second half of the year, our papers, like you could just take somebody else and look at ours and see our answers might have been correct, but he was more detailed with our papers. So our grades definitely went down the last trimester. And me and my friend, since we were just about to leave the school, so it was the last year, we didn't really raise that much concern about it, but still it bothered us because we really couldn't figure out what to do. It really made me mad, kind of, because we knew it was the end of the school year, and we didn't want to get him fired, or we didn't want to get him in trouble or anything like that, because we were going to leave, we weren't going to see him again. But we just didn't know where to turn. The hardest thing to accept with my English teacher was probably the fact that we never confronted him himself. We went around him. We told other people, but we never actually confronted him to his face. That's, now that I think about it, we should have done that. Another time, it's just when your parents yell at you or something like that, lots of times you think that it's not fair, and then you think about it and you realize, well, yeah, maybe they did have a little reason to yell at you or get mad at you. But that's just an everyday occurrence, kind of, when you don't really listen to them and they get mad.
What do? How do you cope with the situation when you feel you have no one or nowhere to turn?
Sometimes you can feel really alone. Why don't we go back and talk with Ed and see what suggestions he has?
Well, I'm the type of person that would think about it when life doesn't seem fair. I'll just contemplate it and think about it, and I'll go ask other people's opinions about it, and try to figure out what the right thing to do would be. Sometimes it's a lot harder on certain subjects, but usually it works. Sometimes I've gone running, or the school I'm going to has a weight room, so I've been going there sometimes just when I just want to think about stuff. Because
I guess it diverts your mind or gives you something new to think about. Another way I cope is by talking to a friend. They may not be able to help me because they've never experienced what I'm having a problem with, but they can still listen to you. And it's just good knowing that somebody's there. Jesus would be a good role model for showing how people should cope. I mean, no matter how much he was persecuted or discriminated against, he always kept on going, always got up the next day and kept on preaching about what he thought was right. Well, I feel that my faith has actually played a big part, because I mean, going to church, there's a community there, they'll support you when you have time, when you're in a bad time or you need advice. There's always somebody that will talk to you. I went to a religious ed class, I guess you would call it, and that teacher, he was very helpful. I mean, he gave us his number, and if we ever needed to talk to him for any advice or we just had any questions, whatever was on our mind, we could always go to him. I asked him some questions. It was just on like dating and stupid stuff like that. But yeah, some people went to him for like serious stuff. Like he said he was there for like if you ever thought about suicide or anything like that. And I know one person went to him for something like that. And he definitely helped them. A positive suggestion I would give to teens that think life isn't fair is something good will always come after it. I mean, you always have something to look forward to, and if you don't know that it's coming, you can probably guess that something good in your future will happen.
Wow, you know, I think that was all really great advice.
Really was.
What do you guys think? You know, do you guys want to comment on that, or do you have any other positive suggestions on how to cope when life isn't fair?
I know, like, when I cope with life isn't fair, I usually like keep it in and I start like sulking around the house, and I'm like real quiet, and I just keep myself away from everyone else, because I know that if I'm near someone, I'm going to blow up until I can calm down, and then I can go and talk to whoever I'm mad at.
I think you just really need to talk to someone, like either talk to who you're mad at or just like tell someone your problems, you know, just like to have a friend, you know, or like a shoulder to cry on, or whatever you need to do.
That's really important. My friend is going through that now, and for him it's just his job, you know, working full time, and he's still a teenager, and just everything that's going on with his family, death in the family. And I told him, I said, you know, think of it, it's really good to think of certain things in life metaphorically. Like, I said, think of your life as a pantry, as a cabinet. Right? You know, when before you go food shopping, and this may seem a little funny, but it works. Before you go food shopping, you check in the cabinet. You're like, okay, that's stale. I need to throw that out. Now, I still have that. We're going to keep that. That's still good. I can eat that. And then you have to go, what's on your shopping list, see what you need to get at the food store. And the food store can kind of be, you know, an opening in your life. What you need to bring in and what you need to get rid of is the food that's stale, and what you need to keep is the things that you love. And I think that's a great way to think about it. You know, everyone's laughing, but it really, as silly as it may sound, it's a really great way to think about it. And that's a lot of things when life isn't fair. You know, when life isn't fair, you need to know what to get rid of and what's gonna make you feel better and what to do to make.
That is so true.
I like that one. It helps.
I've never heard that analogy ever.
I made it up myself.
It works, you know.
It does work. It works well, like when you think about it. But when you first hear it, it's like,
yeah,
okay.
You're all looking at me like I'm crazy or something.
I think like feeling that life isn't fair could be like the worst feeling you ever get. I think that all of us teenagers feel that way, how nothing's going well, school, parents, every single thing, and you just feel like, why did God put me up here? But you know, God has a master plan that we all fit into, and the only way to go up from bottom is up, and people don't realize that. So if you're on the bottom, you have to go up. That's the only thing you can do. So just go with it, relax, talk to someone. If it's serious, get some help. They have things like that, so just don't worry about it. Just relax, it's all right.
And I think it's important to really pay attention to who you're choosing to talk to, because it can really help to talk to a friend. And definitely if the problem's serious, like Adrian was saying, you have to go and get help from somebody who's, you know, qualified to do that. But if you're just going to talk to a friend, you have to make sure that your friend is going to be helpful and that your friend stands
A positive
for the same thing
influence.
that you do. Exactly, a positive influence. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Because if you're really down and you're really desperate, you'll take advice from anyone, and you have to make sure that you're seeking out positive advice.
Right, like if you tell your friend a problem, you'd be like, oh, let's go get a beer, let's make it all better. No, that does not work because, so many people I know do that. And it really doesn't work because, guess what, when you get drunk and you're sober again, the problem is still there and you're
plus
back.
you might have more because you don't know.
Exactly, you're back in square one.
Yeah, you might like trash your house or something.
It's
Never.
not the
I like what you
answer.
said about the friend, because a little while I was talking to a friend and I was like, man, me and my parents are arguing again. And he was like, but why? I mean, you just have talked to him. Me and parents have been great for such a long time. And it's like, whoa, bro.
It's not the
I
same,
have a problem
though.
here.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell me about it. You're supposed to raise my self-conscience, not
Confidence,
like...
yeah. Exactly, I know what you're talking about.
But I think like the best therapy is like crying. I don't know why. Just like if
You know
crying,
what?
like,
You're so right.
I don't know. It's like I know like the guys are like, yeah, right. I'm not gonna do that. But
No,
guys
I cry
cry.
all the time. I cry. Honestly, be truthfully and honestly with you, I cry all the time. Crying
rid of
is
a lot
the
of stress.
best for you.
like I'm such a crybaby. Like when I'm mad at anyone, I just start crying because it
yell.
makes me feel so much better.
It does, it's like a release of,
I know.
I don't know
An
what,
outlet.
some
Or yelling
enzyme.
comes out.
Yelling helps.
Something.
Releases an enzyme.
It really does make you feel better.
Anyway, you just gotta put things in perspective. Like Adriana said with the pantry, if you've got something moldy in there, but it's like a breadcrumb, you're not gonna worry about it.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, it's always important to keep the feelings that you have. You know, you have to feel that anger, you have to feel the sorrow, you know, the fear that life isn't fair. It just, sometimes those feelings, you have to keep those in perspective that's why it causes you to feel that life isn't fair, because of those feelings.
Right.
And, you know.
If you put them in order, like the pantry, then everything will feel better.
So anger, fear. Okay, all right, I got it. They're all in order now.
And it's always important to feel anger, like Courtney was saying, or to cry.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you feel so much better. But when, you know, sometimes we just have to think about how to vent our anger in a healthy way. You know?
Yeah. It's like going out and smacking your little brother, something that's not good.
That's not healthy.
That's not healthy.
That's definitely not healthy. So,
Not for your little brother.
not healthy for your little brother. So why don't we go to the roll-in and see if some teenagers, how they vent their anger, and hopefully they don't smack their little brothers around. Let's go see that.
When I get mad, I let it go inside me and I kind of take it out on other people, but not really. Like verbal abuse, you know, just kind of yell at people.
I think the best thing is to stay by yourself and also like talk to someone about it, because if you just keep it cooped up, and that's not healthy.
I go running, so that like vents all my anger. Like when I go like that, you know, miles and miles.
Depends on what you mean by healthy way. Like, you know, just like yell or like, you know, punch a wall or something like that, you mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I put my hand through a couple of walls here and there.
I don't know if that's healthy.
I guess I like punch pillars or like throw stuffed animals around my room or something, so I don't like act out on other people. It's not fair, because whatever's happening to me, I don't want to happen to someone else.
I'm not usually that angry. I'm not that type of person to get that angry.
Usually just like scream. Like I'll go in a room, shut the door and scream. And then it just like lets everything out so that you can go back and deal with the problem calmly, rationally, without saying anything that you don't want to say.
When I get very upset or angry, I write them down on paper. And I write how I'm feeling, what I wanted to come out of what was going on, and I just write it down and I let it be, and then I file it away and never look at it again.
If I'm really, really mad at somebody and I don't want to be mad at them anymore, I'll go and I'll talk to them. And I'll be like, well, why? You know, this isn't, you know, try to talk things through, compromise.
You know, compromise, that's always good way to deal with, you know, the unfair feelings.
Yeah, something that you know you can't change.
Exactly.
Just try to deal with
Compromise.
it. Yeah.
Definitely. Now, can you guys think of any ways that you have expressed your anger in a healthy way?
Well, I think it's always helpful to write things down. At least it is for me.
Right.
I know it doesn't work for everybody, but it's really worked for me because when I'm writing to myself, I can say whatever it is I want to say, and I know that it's not going to hurt anybody because nobody else is going to read it. So I can just sort of get that out and then figure out what I actually want to do when I get back to dealing with the problem and the people that caused it.
So in a way, you're making a shopping list of the things you want to do, right? To put in the pantry.
It's sort of like that. Yeah, I guess so.
That's really good. I know music soothes the soul. So sometimes when I listen to music or if I read something that I can relate to, that really helps a lot.
But like sometimes when I'm in like a bad mood, I don't listen to soothing music. I listen to something that like get me worked up.
Whatever
just like to
mood you're
release the tension. It's like you start listening to like really loud music with a lot of bass in it. You're just like you just get it out of your system.
Sitting there, you're like,
Yeah, exactly. You're like running around the house like singing the entire song or something. Just like get yourself tired. You're like, whew, I feel better now.
I know. Coping is so hard because, you know, many adults cope in unhealthy ways, and we see that because they're usually our role models, you know, and we see sports figures sometimes lashing out in anger over, you know, a call that they don't agree with, you know, all the time. And it's really weird that we see that on TV, and yet people are telling us to deal with our anger, but yet these role models that we're looking at and we're looking up to them because they, you know, they're famous, they have all this money, and they're good at sports and all this other stuff, and they're doing this. And, you know, I think what I try to do is I look at Jesus as my role model. You know, what would Jesus do? Because if not, then I'd be all messed up. Really would.
your pantry would be all out of order.
Oh, my pantry would be really messy.
God gives us strength, you know, power and courage, you know, right in our
He really does.
our own hands, because you know we gotta like let God work through us to, you know,
and
open up.
It's up to us to deal with it. I mean,
Exactly.
we're the only ones who have control over our own life.
Right. He gives us all that stuff, but we gotta use
We
it.
have to put that to use. Exactly.
Yeah, that was
Definitely. And I want to thank you guys for, you know, coming in today. Been great comments, you know. Great feedback on everything we've been talking about. When we look at the unfairness in Jesus' life, we can only be in awe. You know, he was spit on, verbally and physically attacked, repeatedly questioned, and finally killed, all for speaking the truth.
That's unfair. Yet he prayed, and stayed close to his Father. And he took time alone to think.
We realized that God's ways are not our ways, and he trusted in that.
Now, what do you do when life isn't fair? We want to know. So please contact us through our website at www.realfaithtv.com.
And if you're not connected to the internet, you can always call at 609-406-7402.
Now, until next time, remember that we will never learn healthy ways of coping if we feel, act, and then think.
The key to being emotionally healthy is learning to feel our feelings, think about what they are telling us, and then act appropriately.
And remember, when life isn't fair, you're the only one who's got the power to change. It's in the palm of your hand.
God bless you. We'll see you next time.
Real Faith TV.